Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and wow. 10,000 subscribers, a bish balkin of subs. Um, Thank you so much. I have really been blown away these past couple of years by the support I've received. Thank you to the Yugi tubers who stuck their neck out promoting me early on. Thank you to the communities I made in the Yugi Tuber Grand Championship Mokuba League, and then the Yugi Tuber Grand Championship Prime as well. Thank you to the wonderful individuals in my Discord who have sat through endless streams with under 10 people in them throughout the majority of 2017. Thank you to my friends, my fiance, for putting up with me when I was funneling endless hours into something that was reaping absolutely zero economic reward. I love you all, and I I'm having a hard time keeping it together. Of course, any list that thanks people would be remiss without an inclusion of you, the viewer. I know that you've come to expect a certain level of grace, sophistication, and rugged good looks from yours truly, but did you know the intellectual you see before you, who always plays Three Desires and never includes something like "and a hero lives without a search target," didn't always have the deck building capacity he has today? Hard to believe, but it's true. There was a time not too long ago that I was a young, naive deck builder like yourself. And unlike yourself, I was still making videos. So I thought a fun way to give back to the community that's given so much to me would be to host a tournament. But not just any tournament. A tournament that includes the worst of the worst decks I ever built. Some intentionally bad, like Flying Fortress Skyfire, and others bad by virtue of my own naivety. What follows is a three-part series beginning with a chronicle of the decks I picked and culminating in replays of those involved. So without further ado, let's spend the rest of this video making a trip down memory lane and watching some 10-minute travesties. So the first video we're going to be checking out is Rank Up Gadgets, and oh my god, this video is over 3 years old. August 12th. Okay, well, I'm sure it holds up. Let's see what happens. Oh! Okay, I forgot about this. Well, I'll let it play. So, I originally thought that in order to be taken seriously as a Yugi tuber, you needed an intro, but I had no editing experience, so I paid someone on Fiverr. I got this. I was clearly disappointed, but it was $5, so I didn't feel like I had the leeway to be like, hey, this sucks. So I used this intro for about 9 months. So you may be seeing a little more of this. Finally, in like 2017, someone told me, just take out the intro altogether. Just start the video.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Joseph Rothschild, aka
Oh.
Tron here, and I'm back again with another episode of
The mic quality is just amazing.
10-minute testing. Well, I got the microphone, but it has to be plugged into a microphone jack, which I guess I probably should have assumed, but my computer only has a headphone jack, so now I have to go buy a converter, so you'll have to put up with this tinny in-computer audio for another couple of days.
I can't believe I uploaded videos like this. Why did anyone watch this? Not very many people did, but people actually watched this video. Wow. It was actually recorded on laptop speakers because I was working with like a $300 touchscreen laptop, and it actually just straight up didn't have a microphone jack. This was a dilemma at the time.
You also may have noticed I did not upload a video yesterday. I am making 10-minute testing, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. Doing it every day was really just eating into too much of my time, and most of my time is being spent now on another secret project, which I will let you guys know more about as it draws closer, but expect to hear stuff by the end of the month.
I don't remember what the secret project is. I think it was the Yugi Tuber Mokuba League, but I'm not exactly sure. Importantly, there was a time very early on when I was doing 10-minute testing daily. It lasted like a week. It was miserable, and the videos were terrible. Even if I had infinite time, I would not do that again.
For now, let's just jump into deck edit and see what I got for you.
Oh.
So this is an incredibly innovative and original deck. I am tentatively calling it Rank 4 Spam. I know it's a pretty difficult deck to wrap your head around, but I guess I'll go through the card choices here.
Okay, so this is before I scripted anything, obviously. I would just jump in, scroll through the list, and just like, try to explain why I was playing, like, Kageta Kage in a rank 4 deck. There's really no reason to do it. I am shocked that I actually recognize a significant amount of these cards. I have no memory of making this video. But the ratios are not as bad as I expected them to be. You see, we've got all the gadgets. We've got 2 of the old gadgets. We've got basically maxed out of every single card instead of playing 1s and 2s of bad things. We've got Instant Fusion, which probably should be at 3 in a format with Norden! We've also got a whole bunch of rank-up magics. I don't know why I wanted to play 2 and 2, but that just seemed to be conventional wisdom.
And Tin Goldfish have long been the staples in a deck archetype where you just barf out as many rank 4 dudes as possible, but Gold and Silver Gadget have basically the same effect when combined with the gadgets.
Okay, so that's pretty reasonable. The idea here was you were going to activate one of the, like, Baryon's forces on 101, so you could go into C101. That's not good enough to win any games. This next one is a personal favorite of mine, Spirals and Slifer Convulsion of Nature. This was as soon as Spirals had been revealed. It is 3 days after the previous episode. And of course, it sounds really good in these headphones. And then it is just immediately undercut by this incredibly tinny speaker. Let's see if we got the mic up.
What's up, everybody? Joseph Rothschild here, aka
the audio quality. It's not great, but it's better.
A Mono Blue Tron, and we're back again with another episode of 10-minute testing. Something you should know about me is that I live in New York, and for the past week and a half in New York, we've been experiencing what I'm calling proof that global warming is real. It's been...
That was true. I recorded this in a 95-degree oven of an apartment. Our greedy landlord didn't want to put up the AC. So it was a hassle. I hope you all appreciate it. Oh, this list. I remember this list. There's just so much to talk about. First off, double Slifer in a deck that's trying to use Slifer as its win con. 1 Dragoons. Maybe it's a Garnet, I don't know. Double Quick Fix. Double, what is that card? Drones. I'm used to saying Hornet Drones. It's been so long since I had to think about Spiral. And something that you'll see repeatedly in my very old videos, 3 copies of Quaking Mirror Force. I stuck this in everything. It was like a $35 card at the time, and I thought, hey, it's $35, it must be good. The point of this deck was you were going to use like Gishki Diviner and Archfiend's Oath to manipulate the top of your deck and then special the Spiral cards from your hand. You would know what your opponent was up to because of Convulsions of Nature, and the added synergy was stuff like True Name to get Slifer out, or theoretically you'd have plussed so hard with all of the Spirals that you just have like 8 cards in hand for Slifer anyway.
Staggering heat wave. It really liked but never really understood a way to get value out of. You play
Still true, by the way. Convulsions of Nature, not good. Someone break it.
Convulsions of Nature with Archfiend's Oath. And Gishki Diviner to draw extra cards off the top of your deck. In a perfect world, he can draw something like 3 cards a turn. Then, because you can see both players' decks, we're also playing Spiral Super Agent and some of the Spiral stuff in order to, you know, try and find a home for these wacky cards.
This was before any double helix shenanigans, but I like that I'm just owning up to having no idea what I'm doing in terms of ratios. We're just playing some of the Spiral stuff, you know, as one does. This was a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing this deck in action. Ugh, beautiful.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild.
This background. Okay, so this is a week later, and look, the production value has already quadrupled. The most recent iteration of Percy at this time had a moving background, which was really hard on my terrible laptop. So videos taken with this background took longer to film, longer to edit, because occasionally replays would just like start chugging along and like not playing at normal speed. Instead of correcting this with a static background, I just left this up because it looked cool.
Out here, aka Mono Bluetron, back with another episode of 10-minute testing. So for those of you who don't know, I live in New York now, and I have moved here to pursue my dream of becoming an international Yu-Gi-Oh sensation.
That worked out.
That's a lie. I moved here so that I could pursue my dream of becoming an actor.
Okay, that didn't.
Who were like equally as likely, so I figured I'd list them both.
Yeah.
However, this September 7th, I'll be appearing in an off-Broadway.
Oh, shit, oh my god! Okay, I forgot this. When I had like 100 subscribers, I would just straight up shout out the productions I was in. I am really lucky that no one showed up with like a Pacifist the Phantasm City and interrupted like a production of Annie off Broadway to ask me to do something. Wow. Not a smart fellow, I was. Ugh. And you can tell that by the deck.
Of Illusions Ghost Trick. Now, for those of you who don't know, Summoner of Illusions is like the Jill Stein to magical scientists Bernie Sanders.
That's pretty funny. That was a good writer at one point.
You know, it's kind of similar and does sort of the same things.
Not really, no.
It's not likely to show up in any Tier 1 decks anytime soon.
Just like Jill Stein. You can see the 3 Quaking Mirror Force in this deck as well. At least it's a little bit defensible. I also threw Regeki and everything. I don't think it was even good then. Summoner of Illusions is an incredibly bad card. It requires you to tribute another monster in order to summon a fusion monster from your extra deck. This deck was meant to play a bunch of cards that protect face-down monsters, so you can actually get his effect off. That ended up being the Ghost Trick cards, and then you would, like, Summoner of Illusions for Arisen Gaia or Naturia Exterio. Occasionally, you'd end up winning with Angel of Mischief, which, as you can see, has this, like, awful, glossy art from old Percy.
It's a little disappointing, and most importantly, it believes in illusions instead of science. So
hilarious. God, why did I ever turn away from Reddit atheism?
Hey everybody, Joseph Roth.
You can hear this like water in the background? That's the AC.
Child, aka Mono Bluetron here, back with another episode of 10-minute testing.
So this is the first video where I realized that there were 2 black bars on the sides of every one of my videos. It was recording in a certain aspect ratio that Percy wasn't in, so this is the first full screen video I ever made.
So I have this weird week in my life right now where I have to constantly be on call for my job, but at the same time I am not actively at my jobs.
Yeah, that was really bad. I was temping, and as a result my episodes were extremely sporadic, but also not very high quality. Let's get to the deck proper. Oh, this was one of our first Toad builds.
So let's jump into deck edit and see how it goes. So, for those of you who watched the previous video, pretty much right off the bat, you can tell that this is a different style of deck than the previous one. The previous one was playing the Frog engine, which we have cut entirely. That's because, while the backup plan of making tree toads was kind of cute, it turns out it's not particularly good in a world where decks like Hero Tree Toad and Water Tree Toad already exist, and people have to pack main board answers to this card anyway.
This is awful. This is a terrible build. This was recommended to me by one Gavone, who occasionally shows up on the channel here and there. He told me that Gold Sarcophagus could never come to 3 because if it ever did, Gold Sarc plus DDR was an instant win combo. By putting Deep Sea Coelacanth on your side of the field, you could assemble 8,000 points of damage with a couple of copies of this terrible, terrible Ice Barrier card. He was right in that it was 8,000, but wrong in that it would be relevant in any capacity. As always, notice the 3 Quakings. That's... oh, boy. Oh, God, I sure hope none of the pilots draw these.
Instead, I've opted to play the Metaphos, which allows to Pendulum Summon
the Metaphos.
Super H Deep Sea King Coelacanth. Metaphos are good cards, and they...
Wait, that's not a mispronunciation. They were called Metaphosis.
Play well with each other, and in a world where we just brick into multiple Metaphos guys, we're probably still fine. For those of you who don't know the Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth combo,
yeah, what's wrong with you? How could you not know this? This deck might actually take things, because if it does resolve Coelacanth, it can make double Tree Toad, which is probably better than anything Summoner of Illusions Ghost Trick is going to be doing. Alright, so a little bit of background about this next video. This was the first user request I ever got. There was a user called Cherry in Motto, who's still here and there on, like, Dueling Book and stuff, that sent me a joke suggestion to make an In Motto deck that I took at face value, so I did so. I also purchased a new intro. Watch this. Oh my god. I mean, it's better. $5, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka...
Okay, so also, I stopped using this background because it is copyrighted artwork.
Mono Bluetron, back again with another episode of 10-minute testing. So it feels weird to trot out all the fanfare and like the new intro and the title cards and all these new slides.
They look great.
Play a deck that's as bad as the one we're playing today.
At least I was realistic. Let's look at the deck. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Wow, this is really not good. Oh, man. Oh, I just don't know where to start with this one. First, Soul Charge. Can you imagine we ever played a game where Soul Charge was a 1? Incredible. 3 Quaking Mirror Force, once again, the Mono Bluetron mainstay. What have we got? Is this the Gemini plant monster? I don't even remember what it's called. And 6 In Mottos.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, back with another episode of 10-minute testing. So today we're, just playing a real piece of garbage. A deck centered around the use of level 2 or lower normal monsters. Now the reason I always liked the idea of this archetype is because Konami will print whatever broken crap they want as long as it includes the clause level 2 or lower normal monsters. If you don't believe me, look at cards like Tri-White, Human Wave Tactics, Law of the Normal, Enchanted Fitting Room. They're all really, really good, but they get really, really bad cards.
That's right. Hey. All it took was till December. And already I've mastered Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, let's look at the deck. Oh, there it goes. Oh, no. Oh, wow. That's really not good. You can see we have Dystopia the Despondent in the results search. Maybe we should have played that card instead of just leaving it there. Wow, this is really rough. You can see we're playing the 0 attack Metal Foes. That's because we were playing a Box of Friends suite designed to enable it. And a full Metal Foes Fusion, and Metal Foes combination. Counter? Nowhere to be seen. Absolutely, though, pinnacle of this deck has to be Laughing Flower.
A couple of really sweet options that I haven't included in the deck. The first is Dystopia the Despondent, a massive 5,000 attack beat stick that can only be special summoned by sending 4 level 1 monsters you control to the graveyard. Unfortunately, level 1 is not really what I wanted to do with this deck, and more importantly, there are just better ways to cheese out Dystopia the Despondent. At the end of the day, he's just a big, dumb guy who does big, dumb things. The other way that you can win the game is by using this spell card called...
You can hear the clicking. I just, figured that typing it would be better than putting it into the side deck and mousing over it. It's earnest, I'll give it that. This deck doesn't look miserable, if only it wasn't playing so many bad cards. This will be a fun one for sure. So we're skipping ahead 9 months. This is kind of the transitionary period between making really painful content that was hard to produce and making videos that I actually liked. This, for the longest time, was the favorite video I had ever put on my channel. It's Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. No intro.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, back again with another episode of 10-minute testing. So often we forget that we really only have a short time on Earth. The entirety of the human experience can be distilled down to a single second in the grand scheme of cosmic history. I like to imagine some extra-dimensional being, upon noticing the ashes of our burning universe, would take a second to experience the most intelligent civilization our husk of a reality has ever formed. And then it would turn up its nose upon seeing that we all chose to spend our meager lives trying to summon Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. Today I did my part in the fight against nihilism and spent 0.0003% of my total time on Earth to try to wrangle a single drop of pleasure from this cold, uncaring universe. As always, I have failed.
That's fun. I don't care who you are. This is actually what motivated me to start scripting a significant portion of my videos, because I would never have been able to improv that. Yeah, wow. It's weird. These, like, sort of more experimental TMTs usually end up wielding extremely powerful results for the actual channel. The list, however, is miserable. I did not react to this list because I remember it very well. This was the result of a, like, 5-hour stream in which I was trying to find any way to summon this card in any sort of a consistent capacity. Punk Rock Lee, who's playing this in tournament, was instrumental in this effort and played like War of the Worthless decks from Rada's tournament that was going on at the same time. We finally landed on this combo that only works in the OCG because of fusion tag rulings, but it's just Hope for Escape Exodia. You're meant to draw Gofu, special Gofu, activate fusion tag twice on each token, tribute the Gofu, or one of the tokens, I don't remember if Gofu can be tributed, for an Armed Dragon level 5, then level it up into 10 and contact fuse. Like, that was the most effective way to do this. So we're now 5 months in the future. We're uploading the intros in HD. As soon as I press spacebar, you will see that we hadn't yet figured out how to do the same for our copy of Percy. Anyway, we're past the point in which decks are incapable of doing anything because I'm bad at deck building, and we're now squarely in the world in which they are failing to do anything because the decks themselves are bad. This came out over a year and a half ago, but it's interesting to see that basically a ton of metagame mainstays are still completely legal. Even in this deck that does a bunch of nothing, you can still play Saruya. You know, we still have a copy of Borreload in here. All the same rank 4s are relevant. Rageki's still at 1. Left Arm Offering is Mystic Mind playable, which is about as fair as the thing we're trying to do here. The treat of this deck is... what is that? Type 6? Oh god, I'm not going to remember the name of that trap card. I'll let the old me take it away.
So here's the list, and don't worry, it's okay to be intimidated. As always, I'll give you a little bit of background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and as always, the card by card. Sorry. So firstly, for those of you that don't know...
Did I just leave that in? I just did a take where I coughed in the middle and I said, yeah, let's use that one.
Orgoth the Relentless is Duke Devlin's ace, I guess? Duke Devlin is the worst of all of Yugi's friends. He's a companion somehow even more useless than Rebecca. His gimmick was dice, but he mostly only used them in the game of his own creation, Dungeon Dice Monsters. In paper, he played like some boring, non-thematic, generic card pile, just like everyone else did during the much-beloved Virtual World arc.
True.
Still, as a fan-favorite character, he's inevitably gonna have to appear in Duel Links, and to do so, he needs a signature card, one that's not broken in the significantly less powerful Duel Links metagame environment.
So this was an interesting call on my part that was proven to be untrue. Devlin is not in Duel Links yet, and he does not play Orgoth, though Orgoth would be very, very bad at this point in Duel Links history. So the one gimmick I like from this video is that I end it, and then I restart it in order to get a replay where we win, and look what we had to sit through. This is a Chaos Max Turbo build with a Blackluster Soldier in it.
Our first hand of the night that doesn't make Orgoth, but here's Orgoth himself. Perhaps this is a message, potentially from Orgoth. We get to go second, which is excellent because we get to see the thing that our opponent is going to kill us with. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, another giant beast that we can't possibly out. We'll start by activating Signing Deal, going into Playmaker, and setting Penalty Box, maybe the only good card in our deck, and we're going to use it. Our opponent's going to go to battle phase and attack our Playmaker, and what do you know, we can banish this for 2 turns. Unfortunately, we have no kind of pressure at all. We'll normal summon the Galaxy Worm, not getting its effect, but at this point, I don't have the 2 brain cells left necessary to care. Our opponent draws into a King of the Swamp, another brick, thank the Lord. They'll set this polymerization in their hand, then get back the Chaos Max Dragon. Of course, we can banish it again by normal summoning midfielder, banishing it with Penalty Box's effect, and then getting it for 26 and 12. But this isn't how this game was meant to go. No, this game was meant to be ended with Orgoth the Relentless. We roll 2-5-1 and pass it back to our opponent. They get back their copy in the end phase of a White Stone of Ancients, but their Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon is still successfully sealed. We'll use Orgoth's effect. Wait,
we rolled dubs, and we don't draw. Cretin.
To Why didn't we get to draw? At this point, I can't care about that either. We get in for lethal! Yes!
And then I steal a Jontron joke at the end. And now we've made it to modern day Mono Blutron. I've included this deck as well because it is really, really bad. The only interesting thing from this video, which I recommend you view by the way, is that this got me copy struck.
All around me are familiar brick hands, never sick hands, losing quick hands, loading in just for me to quit, man, losing rating, my tears are filling up my glasses, no extension, hide my head, I want to do my combo, no tomorrow, and I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad, the dreams in which I skyfire are the best I've ever had, I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to top, when people shotgun hand traps, it's a very, very bad deck. Bad deck.
So that's that. On the left here is the bracket for this fantastic Tournament of Champions. Our round 1 matches are Slifer Spiral Convulsions of Nature, piloted by Train, versus Summoner of Illusions Ghost Trick, piloted by Sonic 21 Blast. Our second match is Level 2 or lower normal monsters, piloted by Randuin, versus Rank Up Magic Gadgets, piloted by Little Spee That Could. Our third match is Assault Dragon Catapult Cannon, piloted by the one, the only Punk Rock Lee, versus Flying Fortress Skyfire, piloted by Gao. And finally, our fourth match is going to be In Motto Black Garden by Alpha Cretin against Orgoth, piloted by Giant Skyhawk. Now, we're going to be using Master Rules 3 and 4, and because of that, we need to be using Dueling Book. I hope to be bringing you the second and third installment of the replays of these videos very shortly. See you then.